Never ever live with a landlord. That's right, your boy Chris spent at least 4 months in an environment that by the way was not existent. Whereas, the landlord tries to break into your room without notice, or when he installs surveillance cameras without letting me know in advance, or the worst of all, bringing in extra dogs without discussing with the rest of us. Now you may be wondering, how did I get to that point? From Ottawa to Oshawa, and then Oshawa to Toronto. What's going on, my people? Chris is here, and today, we're going to find out how I made the poor decision of moving in with a roommate that happens to be a landlord.
Disclaimer, this video will contain mature subject matter. Viewers' discretion is advised.
What's going on here? This is Chris, and this is the University. It's called Scarborough Town Mall. Alright, let's go take a look. You heard it right, Simba, the annoying ass dog. The dog that wasn't really part of the deal. Alright, so this here is the mall. That's what it looks like. On June 2025, I've been having thoughts of going back to school rather than spend another season at my job. I made the decision to do a college transfer to a university program at Ontario Tech for communication.
Communication? You're gonna waste a lot of time and money!
And the worst part, they're kinda right. Though my experience going to Ontario Tech is a whole another story for a future video. So back to the main topic, I got accepted in July, meaning I have to find a place to live. And for my employer, I need an Ontario transfer from Ottawa to Toronto. While browsing on this site called Roomies, I came across a suburban household in Oshawa. I showed interest and briefly spoke with the landlord, who we'll just call him Rick. I was offered the basement, which to be real, was much more spacious than my current apartment. Rick mentioned that the household would have his wife, 2 bulldogs, and another tenant, all for the grand price of $1,000. I hesitated at first, mainly because of the price. After finding out the price got knocked down to $9,000, and another person failed to secure the space. I went for it and got the confirmation that I'll be moving in September. At this time, that's excitement. Looking forward to know my roommate. And Rick and his wife, here we'll just call her Becky for the purpose of this video, seems to be a couple of laid-back swingers at the time. I even neglected the fact that it's a basement I was going to live there, considering they're often known to be a dark space to live in. After signing the first deposit, things went a little suspicious. I didn't get a written agreement for me to go over information about the space, including the address, know who I'm living with, and so on. Fast forward to the end of August, just got back from my work trip from Vancouver, and stayed at my parents' house for 2 days. Movie day is here, and it kinda hit me that I'm leaving my old life in Ottawa to move up in the GTA. On a side note, I haven't realized how far Oshawa is from Toronto. 1 hour train ride to Union, plus 30-minute drive to Oshawa Go. So going to work part-time at the time was a major challenge, but somehow I made it work. Now about the people I lived with, they're all chill and respectable people at first, alongside their 2 bulldogs. Rick and Becky, at the late 40s, both working remotely, a dude closer to my age who we'll just call him Carmen, and 2 bulldogs, one a senior and the other one a coward that barks at me occasionally. He will just call me each grandma and coward. So fast forward in October, this is where I started to see the cracks. Landlord is making up rules as I'm living there. One of them are dedicated laundry days for me and my roommate on one day of the weekend, while landlord as Becky has laundry day over the weekdays. And yet, they still use the laundry room on my day, with the audacity to move my clothes without permission. Now for the kitchen, there's no dedicated rules. Though every time I want to make food, Becky is already there doing some white chick stuff. And I already sense that she probably doesn't like me, all because her dog is scared of black men apparently, even though Rick is black. I even had to buy an air fryer so I could make food in my own space. Though one day, Rick smelled food coming from my room and asked directly if I've been cooking. Obviously I can't lie at this point, so I said yeah, and he starts tripping like it was like the end of World War II or something like, bruh, like he been freaking out and saying that apparently cooking in my room is not part of the agreement, even though I don't remember seeing that in the rules, so. Fast forward of the same day in the evening, just came back home, landlord immediately demanded to have entry in my room to know about the cooking situation. For whatever reason, I agreed and he expected the walls and grease stain whatever there is. There was nothing. And I mean nothing at all, like it's literally just an air fryer. Of course I have to continue using it, especially have low access to a kitchen. Next, we have cameras, which were used in common spaces, without my early knowledge. It's not like I was planning to do anything crazy while no one's around. It's the principle that I know someone's always watching you. And I kid you not, there were days when I left at 4 AM for work, and the landlord would literally comment on me, or or ask why I left early. That wasn't part of the contract he made. Lastly, we have the dogs. And to be real, I'm over a cat person, cause I'm a total pussy. Pussy lover, I should say. But real talk, they once thought I'm scared of dogs, likely cause I'm black. Even though the landlord is black, he told me once he was scared of dogs when he was younger. Obviously that's not the case, and their dogs were actually adorable, tame most of the time, and cool to pet them. Like the real problem comes with their friends' dogs, 2 toy poodles. One was actually my favorite of the bunch, and the other one was very aggressive with me. Every time I'm around, it acts super territorial, not letting me roam in common spaces. Literally had Rick telling me the coast is clear every time I need to go upstairs and use the kitchen or go shower. Even worse, I got caught out for defending myself by blocking the poodle with my bag for trying to attack me. You know it's seriously fucked up if the landlord neglects the situation, telling me to have a pair of balls, you're a big man, yada yada yada. I'm like, what the fuck, Rick? This dog tried to attack me, and you're saying to let it happen? I'm not gonna let that slide, that's crazy. It could have rabies from all I know. And get this, the reason they were brought over is because their friend has cancer, and that friend who will just call her Candace. They picked his parents to take care of it while she was at the hospital, though hopefully she's doing well to this day. I'm just gonna assume it was Becky who just volunteered to take the dog, so. And like Rick has no words to say in it. And I say that because one day, Simba fucked up Rick so bad, I hear him rage and specifically said we can't keep those dogs. Fast forward to a couple of days, Candace's parent came to take Simba away for a few days. What a fucking relief. It's like ever since I moved into that place, there's like too many rules that get randomly added in last minute. Not to mention I never got a copy of my own lease to review it. At that point, it didn't feel like home. It never did. So now, it's November, and I told Rick I'll be moving out, and it wasn't easy at all to tell him that, since around that time, he was in some kind of pirate trip by expecting every bathroom use myself and my roommate been using it for shower. After giving my 30-day notice, following his policy, he was unsurprised, since he knew I already hated Simba, and I saw it coming there'd be a mood shift for ending my 1-year lease early from his attitude and basically being expected more often. But can you blame me? I can almost guarantee anyone in my shoes at the time would want to run away from this trap. Total mentally draining. Somewhere in October, I already knew I didn't want to continue university, and I could continue living in this shithole, so I didn't want to go back to Ottawa yet, so I went apartment hunting in Toronto and got lucky with this building that's super accessible to public transit. I took the chance to secure this place while hoping to be rehired full-time once January hit. So it turns out, going to Oshawa for school isn't the only case. It was me, just being bored of my hometown. And real talk, I'll take that as a win. And here's the important lesson for all of y'all. Never trust a nigga with a Becky. To never live with a landlord, and never trust a landlord. Especially if he happens to have the same race as you. And since then, moving to my new place in Toronto, I've been reflecting my dilemma in Oshawa. From having the controlling landlord living in the same space as their tenants, to having a Becky, and to having retarded ass pets. And that's not even the entire story living in Oshawa. This is just the beginning. My next story will likely cover my time at Ontario Tech. If you have to deal with a bad landlord, live with one, or have scummy roommates, please leave a comment about your experience. I'm not the only one who suffered throughout that time. And if you plan to move out of your parents' house, your hometown, or generally anywhere, mainly for school, work, or simply just start over, please remember, wherever you live and whoever your roommate is matters way more than you think. If this video speaks to you, make sure to hit that like button and share it to anyone that could use that message. And make sure to hit that subscribe button if you want me to keep you in the loop, especially with all those stories that I have living in Oshawa. Till next time, off with Austin.